Welcome back. I wanted to talk for a couple minutes about cutting cords of attachment to our past. So attachments are a byproduct of our instinctive need to attach and connect with people. It's that simple. Unhealthy attachments, though, are caused by the times in our lives where we have been hurt or traumatized and utilize our coping and survival mechanisms by pretending that that's not so. It's when we push the things that have hurt us down and package them away in these compartments so that we can continue moving forward in our lives. We've all done this, and we're all carrying with us, to one degree or another, cords that bind us to negative life situations. So healing ourselves and cutting those cords of attachments should be our beginning goal for 2021. It's really liberating to be able to walk away or stand your ground from situations that are not healthy for you without fear of retribution or loss. So the key player in the healing of chronic trauma and cord cutting is the limbic system. It can be impacted by chronic emotional trauma in childhood and later in life, and severely affects how we feel and behave as adults as we age. And we can get caught in this limbic loop. Our brain has been programmed to reactivity, and our fight, flight, freeze response kicks in even when there's no danger. We perceive danger when there is none, when we're presented with an event, smell, sound, trigger that reminds us of a past trauma or chronic trauma. So you guys hear me talking all the time about the amygdala. So subconsciously, the amygdala processes information from the senses, and our past experiences color our reaction. It concludes danger without the inputs from like the more logical frontal cortex area. So experiencing and living with childhood trauma, it keeps us in a state of a high level of arousal and reactivity. We're easily triggered. We're unable to calm down or settle into our process or settle into our space. In fact, life can feel like one constant battle, hyper alert, hypersensitive. When we're faced with trauma or stress, life stressors, we're not able to think as clearly and rationally as we would be if we didn't have these limbic issues. So we overreact, we underreact, and we're not exactly feeling like at peace with our process, like we've got it under control, like we know what we want and we know where we're going. And so limbic resonance is important for our emotional well-being. This area has to be in resonance with the rest of our etheric field. However, if we've experienced parents or later loved ones consistently poorly attuned to us, our brain's limbic system's ability to interact with the neocortex in a manner conducive to emotional health and well-being, it can be disrupted and lead to emotional difficulties in our lives. So we work on rewiring this faulty limbic system to undo the encoding of abusive or poor quality relationships. In order to truly heal, we need to experience deep and attuned loving care. So most of us who've been abused by our families desperately want love that fulfills us. Unfortunately, due to our childhood priming, or the priming that we received in relationships later in our lives, we end up continuing that pattern of getting into relationships with people who resonate with that. And if we experienced abuse, we usually end up falling into relationships with damaged people who mirror that damage back to us that we experienced earlier. Why? Sadly, it happens because of our impaired limbic resonance. We are drawn to abusers because they seem familiar. When our experiences of love in our childhoods were chaotic, unpredictable, and harmful, abuse feels familiar and, might I even say, comfortable, though not in a good, healthy, loving way. So that's one of the reasons why I actually counsel people, if you're not in a romantic relationship, when you begin healing that trauma, you need to take a breath and a breather and a time out from that and really focus on loving and healing yourself. But you can also work on healing this trauma when you're in a relationship, especially if it's a healthy one, because that's one of the things that helps kind of retrain our brains to function in a healthy, loving way. But unconsciously, we're attracted to people that mirror back the abuse that we experienced, and we end up being further abused or disappointed, whatever that core issue is. So in order to really heal, we need to have a routine of spending time in a safe and stress-free place. I've been talking for a couple months now about the necessity of an altar or a space that is a place that we can go to every day for at least 10 minutes. And this is the place where limbic re-regulation can begin to occur. But healing the pain of trauma memories is life-changing. We can rewire our minds, though, to experience calm and control. Healing the adverse imprinting of ourselves and rebooting the mind-body system from its negative programs, it takes commitment and it takes routine. I'm suggesting 10 minutes a day. Your cells need to be deprogrammed and then reprogrammed with doses of positivity and love to heal the cellular memory. So creating and holding space where you can experience peace is step one. Whether it's a room or a corner of a room, just a place dedicated to love and light and healing, and spending 10 minutes a day in this space. Supportive and nurturing conditions are vital, and really I feel like they're overlooked. It's an overlooked aspect of healing. So we settle into our space, we light a candle, we speak to our source, we set our intention to realign the limbic system. We can visualize ourselves cutting the cords between us and our past trauma or past trauma events or people that have caused us trauma, and sending those fragments of the cord into the light. So having a loving, caring listener who will validate our experiences and our feelings is really important, whether that be someone you love, whether that be a friend, or whether you do that in prayer or affirmations. However you choose to work on that aspect of healing is really important. Sound therapy, guided imagery meditations, hypnosis, they all kind of transform the subconscious mind. So sound healing is the one you guys always hear me talking about. And so something that relaxes the mind, refocuses the mind, and allows us to begin the process. And I'll post some links below for things that I think will be helpful: yoga, massage, body work, dancing, physical activity that brings in a surge of those endorphins into the cells is really helpful. Journaling and writing about, well, I was going to say painful experience, but really it's whatever you're called to write onto the page at the moment you're sitting there writing. There doesn't have to be any rhyme or reason to it, but just allowing yourself to explore and experiment with what works well for you, because it's not one size fits all. So I feel like that's a good start. Listening to higher frequencies is really important because we're replacing negative memories or negative experiences that we're carrying in the cellular level with higher frequencies, which automatically brings the frequency of the cells up. So after we release these harmful, disturbing cellular memories, the cells have to be imprinted with healthy emotional vibration. So if you just release your negativity without taking proactive steps to fill your life with uplifting things, uplifting experiences or people, those same patterns will kind of be attracted back and begin to settle into your life. So I highly recommend the photon meditation, and I'll post a link to that in the comments. But it's an excellent choice for this type of healing, as is the 639 megahertz and the 853 megahertz, which I will also post in the comments. But drums, crystals, singing bowls, directed around the crown and third eye chakra area will get us into the right place for physically healing that entire limbic system and those cells, and consciously sending love to the damage we're attempting to heal, and setting our intentions every day for that healing. So I hope that was helpful. If you've got any questions, most of you know how to contact me because you do. So I will be posting some more about this healing the limbic system in the next couple days. But for now, I think that's something for you to think about. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and I wish you love, and I wish you light.